Ladies and gentlemen, this is lesson 6-3. Okay, and it's called solving multi-step equations. You're right, it doesn't.
That's why it's...
Okay, let's look at an example of one of these problems, okay? This is actually the first example in your book. Okay, so let's look at the first example they give us to work with. They say that we have, or they want us to solve 3n plus 9 plus 4n equals 2. Okay, what is the first thing that we have to do before we can solve this equation? Yeah?
Simplify it.
We have to simplify it, okay? So the very first thing we're always going to do is we are going to simplify any way possible. Simplifying can look like a couple of different things. It might ask you to simplify, you might have to perform the distributive property. To simplify, you might have to not necessarily perform the distributive property, but you're definitely probably going to have to combine like terms. Okay? These are things that you're going to have to do before you can solve the equation. All right? So that's what we're working with. Simplifying may mean distributive property or combining like terms. So, is there any distributive property here? No distributive property. Why? Grace Pennicamp.
There are no parentheses.
Yeah, there's no parentheses involved. Okay, so there's no multiplication taking place. Are there any like terms? Reagan.
3n and 4n.
Okay, 3n and 4n. So I'm going to put a box around them. And actually, I'm going to include this positive right here out in front. And it's going to come up in...
5 seconds.
Wait for it. All right. There it is. Okay. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and combine those two things. 3n plus 4n is like saying 3 nickels plus 4 nickels is 7 nickels. Okay, 7n. Carry down the plus 9 because that's what's left over, and this all equals 2. And from here, we can solve this multi-step problem. What's the first thing I'm going to do to solve this? Mary. Yep, I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. Okay, so I subtract 9 from both sides. I see that over here, a positive 9 minus 9 is 0. Okay, and so I'm going to carry down that 7n. And that's going to be equal to 2 minus 9, okay? I'm taking away more than I have, so I'm going to go negative here. Negative how much? Negative 7. From here, you could probably solve this in your head, but let's do the math anyway. I'm going to divide both sides by what? 7. Okay, now on the left-hand side, these 7s cancel. They really become 1, but we don't have to write it, so we just kind of say it goes away. And we say that we are left with n equals a negative 7 over 7. So our answer is going to be negative. It's going to be a negative 1. Okay, so that's how we go about solving problems like this.
Wait, so that's all we have to do for our homework?
That's what you're doing. You're taking the last two ideas and you're putting them together. You're saying combining like terms and simplifying expressions. That's basically what you're working with. Let's look at a more complicated one, though, that you may or may not see. And actually, let me just go ahead and look ahead here and let me find one that looks rather intimidating.
Intimidating?
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, no.
Okay, if you would like reference for this, it's number 29.
So I take it we're doing even?
Oh, my
Usually.
gosh. Usually.
This is number 29 from your text, and it reads 2 times the quantity z minus 20. That's a z minus 20 plus 3z equals 10. All right, the very first thing I have to do is what here? Mary. Okay, so I got to find the variables that are the same. And in this particular one, how many variables do I have? Reagan?
You have 1, but there's 2.
Okay, I have 1. There's a z inside the parentheses, and there's a z outside the parentheses. Okay? So I'm at a standstill. Okay? I'm supposed to do what's inside the parentheses first, but how do I simplify that? How do I get rid of the parentheses so I can combine like terms? Drake. Yeah, I want to do the distributive property. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my arrows. Okay? And that leaves me with 2 times z. I'm going to carry down the minus. 2 times 20. 40. Carry down the plus. 3z equals 10. You know, one of the benefits of setting up your math vertically, kind of working down the page instead of horizontally, some of you like to go horizontally, is you can see easily which steps you've done before and which numbers you've eliminated. Okay?
Wait, what do you mean by going horizontal?
Some people would solve this by going across the page. So they'd write what I just wrote in red, they'd write it to the right of the black letters. I highly recommend that you do it vertically, that you put the next step underneath and the next step underneath, like I did here, where I went from, wait for it.
It's not back from its 2 hour delay.
Crashed.
Aha! Went from the original to the red to the green back to the black text. Okay, so we're working our way down. I can see which steps are being eliminated as I work down. So I'm going to go back to the original problem here, and I'm going to go ahead and do the next step. I've done the distributive property. Now I have to do what? Yeah.
Simplify.
I have to simplify it by doing what?
By subtract or adding 2z and 3z.
Okay, I've got to add 2z, so I'm going to put a square around it, and a plus 3z.
So it'd be
Okay, so I'm going to have 5z minus 40 equals 10. All right, what's the first thing I'm going to do here? Reagan.
you're gonna add 40 to both sides.
I am. I'm going to add 40 to both sides. And I see that my 40s on the left-hand side, they kind of cancel out.
Wait, what?
They cancel out. It's coming. It's working. Work it. There it is.
Work it. Work it.
Slowly.
5z equals what? Yes. 50. Okay. If you get to this point and you're like, oh, I can kind of guess what z is, that's fine. What is z here? 10. Yep, you'd have to multiply 10 by 5 to get
Okay.
50.
So you still have to show the division?
I would prefer that you show the division, sure. Okay?
But do we have to?
But
Get normal.
if you ask me if you have to, the math teacher in me says yes. Okay?
But
So z equals 10.
not normal, but Mr. Bornheim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Bornheim is a math teacher, so it's like.
Yeah, something like that.
There's
What if we
Sir
ask Mr.
Bornheim. What do we know?
All right, one more problem,
Prince math teacher.
because we're getting short on time. Okay, because I want to actually give you some time to start your assignment.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is a pretty easy.
What time is this class
though,
over?
you learned all everything.
It's just putting together, not 31, not 21. I want 31.
21.
Okay, in 31 you have this. You have a dash. You have a couple of dashed lines. As a matter of fact, you have 5 of them.
Wait, what? 31?
It's fancy.
I already don't like it. I don't like
Yeah, because there's a picture involved.
it.
Okay?
I don't get it.
And they're saying this is m, this is m, this is m, this is m, and this is 5. Okay? And what they're saying is that the whole thing
Oh, I get it.
is 21.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so,
4m plus 5
Ah.
is 1.
yes. So, you have to basically add up all the little stuff, and it's going to equal a total distance of 21. So, it's going to be m plus m plus m plus m plus 5. Okay, m plus m plus m plus m plus 5 equals a total length of 21. Can I simplify any terms here? Yeah, Grace.
4m, right?
Yeah, I have 4 m's plus 5 equals 21. Okay, how do I go about solving this? I'm going to do what to both sides, Miss Pennicamp? Grace Pennicamp?
Oh, I will subtract 4. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. I'm running out of space. What's 21 minus 5?
15.
16. So I'm going to end up with 4m equals 16. What does m equal?
4.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait, how did you get